Roll call?
Councilmember Kay,
Present.
Councilmember Stroman,
Here.
Councilmember Engel,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Walker. Here. Mayor Hagan.
Here. Chief, or Jalen, do you want to say anything before I go to Chief?
No, sorry, no, sure.
Chief, are you ready?
So I'd like to present our newest officer. He graduated from the academy in January and he started here February 16th. He's so far been great. He started his FTO program. He's currently paired up with FTO Palomino, so he's learning from the best. And this is Officer Adam Westfall. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Adam Westfall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and
to the Constitution of the United States,
allegiance to
the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Wife Becky will be pinning his badge on it. And he's here with his wife Becky, his son Aiden, and his mom Donna. Let you guys know we're going to take great care of him. He's going to be perfectly safe in our care. And thank you. Do you want to?
Speech?
Yes, hi. I think I've had a pleasure of meeting most of you. I'm Adam Westfall, and I just want to say, of course, thanks to the city of Escalon for giving me the chance. This has been a long process. It's a pretty big career change for me, so I'm really excited to be here and start this new chapter in my life. And I just want to thank the Escalon Police Department. I look forward to working with everybody there and just being a good team member to the city and a good asset. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Adam, thanks for joining the team here. I know that you'll be in good hands. And it takes a lot to put yourself out there for the community, so it's much appreciated, as well as the other police officers that you're joining. So thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know if anyone else would like to say anything.
Happy to have you. You're being taught from the best, and he's got pretty high standards. So learn them, and hopefully we'll be hearing your name as frequently as we are somebody else currently.
Adam, welcome to Escalon family. For Becky and Aiden, thanks for allowing your husband and your dad to be part of our police department. We have a pretty awesome team, and as Councilmember Kay mentioned, I think the FTO that you're training under is truly one of the best officers, despite giving them a hard time. But I mean, I think we could say that about all of our officers, Z and Gak and Gunther. But really, we really appreciate everything that you guys do on a daily basis. You too, Mr. Cody. Appreciate your volunteer efforts and it all, I mean, I'm not a police officer, but I will say that in any facility or any group like a police department, it takes a really strong leader who takes care of his people and listens. And that's a testament to you, Chief. So keep up the great job on your leadership. And once again, Adam, welcome to Escalon.
Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Want to say anything?
Welcome to Escalon.
All righty.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, same.
You're welcome. You're
Welcome here.
you're free to go unless you have something else you want to say.
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All righty.
I'll get pictures now.
We have the strategic plan quarterly next.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. This is our effort to provide an update quarterly to the council and the community on how we are tracking against our strategic goals. Each one of the team members will provide an update in their area. And first is economic development, and Trevin.
Thank you, City Manager French. Council has made it clear that they desire to invest in the local economy by supporting local businesses, attracting new businesses, new manufacturers, as well as generating revenue and supporting the quality municipal services here. As you can see on our tracker, there was 4 stated goals. There's established an economic development committee by July 1st, 2025. That was complete. Develop an economic development strategic plan by October 2026. That's in progress. We're going to be interviewing consultants this Friday, and then meet with 10 businesses each year. That's complete, but it's also ongoing. And then invest in economic development by creating a program by December 2026. And so any new businesses any new business attracted and jobs created locally creates a trickle-down effect that usually creating one new manufacturing job actually has an indirect impact of creating 2 new jobs for the community. And so these are, jobs that are hopefully family supporting jobs that support buying homes and growing our economy here in Escalon. These are things that the city wants to invest in. And so the more we can put our efforts into these things, the more we can develop our economy and the more we can support local municipal programs. As mentioned, the city did convene the Economic Development Committee to steer economic development programming. They've had regularly scheduled meetings with out-of-the-box ideas to advance the interests of council on economic development. In December, the City Council passed and authorized new business grants. There's a new business grant and an expanding business grant, which was covered by the Escalon Times last Friday, if you didn't get a chance to see it. The media coverage that we received and the support from Oak Valley Community Bank has been phenomenal. And so today I received 3 calls about this program and about the grants that we have to support them. One of the business owners said, "I've never seen a city provide resources like this." That's a direct quote. So clearly this is something that local small business owners haven't seen before. And it's something that they're interested in and excited about, at least the ones that I've talked to. So it looks like we're going to have pretty strong pull. Now, this type of positive impact, it is hard to quantify, but it generates blue sky. And even though it's hard to quantify, it does create dividends in the future in terms of building trust with the community. And so it's important besides any measure like creating jobs or creating sales tax. So what's important now for the economic development programming is steady progress and rolling out the economic development programming and the grants to the community, and then launching the economic development strategic plan with the consultant in the coming months. And we'll keep you updated as we do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevin. You're doing a great job so far, so good. Anyone have any statements or?
Quick question. You met with 10 businesses already this year?
Not in 2026. That was.
I was like, you're 2 months into the year. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you, sir.
No.
I think we probably have. I met with all of our businesses in December. So there's that. And then I followed up with all of them for the Spark grant. But yeah, these were all goals for 2025. Yeah.
Oh, even at that, we met with all of our businesses in December?
Yeah, 95% of them. Some of them weren't open, like the dance studio wasn't, but besides that, yeah.
Sure sounds like you're working hard, Trevin. Keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. Any other thoughts on the presentations?
We have more slides.
Okay.
Fiscal stability. Good evening, everyone. So we have adopted our balanced 25-26 budget. We're living that now. We're currently getting ready for our next budget for 2026-27. That's very new. We started that just March 1st. We are still trying to adopt a clean fiscal year 23-24 financial audit. That has hit a substantial roadblock. We'll go back to that. Develop an investment strategy and grow earned revenue by 50%. We have done very well in that area, and it continues to increase. I think at some point we're going to have a nice tipping point where we're only going to have small gains because of the amount of money that we have to invest and the type of products that we can invest in. But it's still going strong. We received, I think, $10,000 just for our February Oak Valley Bank sweep account. So that was new money that we have not received before. Kind of earning on our idle cash was something new for us. So that's gone well. And I expect that to increase also. And the CalPERS is going well. That's a long-term plan. We have reduced the city's CalPERS liability by, I think, 13%. So we're right at that mark. That is something that's going to help us down the road because we will be able to preserve city funds instead of paying it out in expenses. At the long term of that CalPERS required payment, it's about $900,000. So that's like all of our tax money. It was just getting to be way too much. So the plan that we have and that council has approved and put in place will really preserve money in year 9 and 10. And that's something that I think is going to be very beneficial for the city. Hard to see now, but it'll be great then. So the audit. You want to start? Or you want me to start? Okay. We have an update. The current auditor has ended their engagement with the city, meaning they have stopped working with us. They're going to refund the contract monies that have been paid out, so we won't be out any money for this particular bump in the road. They felt they had exceeded their independence threshold, meaning that they had become part of our story instead of the auditor of our story. So the report, because of prior years, required them to make quite a lot of adjustments, inquiries. This is why it's taken so long. Finally, at a point when it came to the managing partner, the managing CPA to look over the report is when they decided that it had met that threshold and they would no longer continue. So I was a little shocked, but while we can't get back all the time that was put into this endeavor, we can definitely take what was learned, a draft report that was painstakingly created for all the different financial statements for 2024 and move it on to a new CPA firm.
Can you basically put it in plain English for everyone as far as like, in other words, there's nothing nefarious going on. Basically, I guess you could explain it, but it's not a.
We'll call him the out-of-state auditor. That'll make it easier for us, I think, to. They did not find anything nefarious and anything wrong, anything fraudulent with the years. They just simply wanted a fine-tooth comb reenactment, really, of 2022 and 2023 before they moved forward. And while this isn't a bad thing, because of the report that we received from the auditor here locally for 2023, it just was not possible without them having an awful lot of work, almost to the point where they would recreate that year. And at that point, they became too entangled with the report that they were providing. They weren't overseeing it, they were creating it at that point.
Yeah.
So they found nothing wrong with 2024 at all, nothing wrong with 2023. They just had their hands in it for too long.
Fair to say it was disorganized prior. Is that what you're saying?
2023 had its issues.
I mean, you can be honest with us. So
It was, you could probably call it sloppy. It was a report that required some you shouldn't have to go, oh, here's the bridge between the number that's printed in the report and what's in the general ledger. And that's what we had to do. We had to say, this is how we got there.
Mhm.
So that was I guess the general reason. The fixed assets was probably their biggest issue. And we have discussed this, I think, kind of ad nauseum, that it wasn't done for a few years and it needs to be done. And it's one of the things that once we get a clean audit, and hopefully this will be a clean audit for 2024 and 2025, meaning it's complete and it's out there and published, not so much that they clean in the fact that it's not error filled, but that it's produced, then we can go through and really finalize all those fixed asset issues. I've corrected quite a few of them.
Fair to say, moving forward, we shouldn't have this issue, right?
No,
So
it's not a difficult process. It's just a tedious process. So I will have to put quite a lot of hours into going back to 2020 and moving forward. But once that's done,
and we're
Yeah.
clean
It'll
road,
be
straight
big.
road ahead of us, so to speak. Okay. Well, thanks for your efforts on it. Any questions at all?
would like to mention our next steps on this. Even though we had quite a shock, the conversation did not go the way we thought it was going to go.
Mhm.
But now we can find a new auditing firm, one that's local. So we're working hard to do that. I have 2 people giving us quotes right now. I'm looking for a third. I'd like to have 3 quotes so that we can follow along with our general operating standards. So we have those going right now. We have that 2024 draft and all the financial statements that came about from all of that work. And we have something called a map. So we're able to map where all the assets go, or all the accounts go, so that preparing 2025 won't take as long. So I'm hopeful, just still a little shocked, but we'll find the silver lining in it.
Well, keep up working forward. You know, it's sometimes these projects are easier said than done, but as long as we can get through it and move forward with a clean slate moving forward is the key. So
In the new conversations we've had with auditors that we would like to see come on, they've seemed to acknowledge staff turnovers can lead to these types of issues. And so it's been described as a sloppy audit. I think, just to succinctly put it, we did probably have a sloppy audit prior, and during the out-of-state auditors' efforts, they were asking a lot of questions. Celinda was putting that information together to kind of connect the dots. And they got to a point, we certainly think it's a conservative position, but they got to a point where they felt like they were asking too many questions, too many things had to be connected, that they felt like they weren't auditing, they were creating. Again, we think it's a very conservative position for them to take, but, credit to them for taking that position, credit to them for, refunding the monies expended. We now have that background information. It'll still take some time, but we've recreated much of it because of the questions that they've asked. So we can start clean with that background information, get a new auditor on board, and they should be able to finalize that audit. That's the process we hope will take, and we'll continue to update the council on this effort.
thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. Any other questions up here? You have any more slides here?
2 more.
So my strategic plan goals were all based around staffing and officer tenure, hiring officers, retaining officers. It's been a challenge. 2024, we did an open recruitment. We got a lot of applicants. Generally, we would see a lot of traction as far as applicants when we would do an open recruitment. We continually recruited for reserve officers, but didn't get a whole lot of traction for the reserve postings. And after July of last year, when we did our last open recruitment, we again got a lot of traction. Didn't get a lot of traction with our continuous recruitment for reserve officers. Late last year, I believe December, we posted the full-time position as an open recruitment position and have seen a whole lot more traction with that. We are continuing to get applicants for full-time positions, even though we're not currently hiring for a full-time spot. So we don't have one open on paper. We do have projected openings. We hired 3 last year. Officer Gunter was hired. Officer Maripau was hired as a reserve. Officer Escalante was hired as a reserve. Officer Maripau did about 4 months as a reserve officer before he got full-time. Escalante did about 6. Officer Westfall, he applied during the open recruitment for full-time. He accepted to start as a reserve officer, and prior to him graduating, a full-time spot opened, and so he started as full-time, and that's what kind of gave me the idea of posting the full-time spot as open recruitment. Since we changed the full-time to open recruitment, we've gotten 6 applicants, all of whom I've reached out to if they apply for a full-time spot. I explained our reserve program and how it's like a farm team for our full-time. And historically, our reserves don't stay reserves for very long. And it is the exact same process. So as soon as they get picked up as a reserve, they can move straight into a full-time spot when it opens up. All of them have agreed to start as a reserve officer. And so we've started several backgrounds. We have one officer who is his background just finishing up. I should have that later on this week, and hopefully we'll be getting him hired on by beginning of April after his psych, medical, and all that. And then we have 4 more in backgrounds.
And how's the morale? Is it going in the right direction?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like it's trending in a strong direction.
Yes, the morale's going up. Officers are happy. They're out there working, and unless they're just not telling me, but I think I'm a pretty approachable guy. They do come with me with complaints on occasion, and I can generally address them fairly quickly.
Well, thank you. Any questions for Chief? Okay.
I'll just say we're not going to change our stripes overnight. We're a small agency. We don't pay as much as others, and people will always be looking for, something different. We're playing the long-term game here a little bit, trying to make small but sizable improvements that will get us to a position we want. And really what we'd like to see is longer tenure for the officers overall. So we have that kind of community policing feel. That's our goal. We're making strides, and we hope to see some fruit born.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Keep doing your thing.
All right, last one is infrastructure. I'll take that one. Just a note, we will also next meeting bring forward the quarterly update for the 2 major infrastructure projects, which we also update here. Begin construction on the surface water project by July 1, 2026. As you can see by the graphic, this is not on track. We had a little closer look at the accounting, and we do not have the revenue that we thought perhaps we have. And so now we are looking at alternative revenue streams. One of the streams we're looking at is a potential lease of our surface water allocation that we have that other agencies may want. We are exploring that option. It's not a quick conversation. Some big dollars we're talking about. It's a big effort for some of these other agencies. But that would help generate quite a lot of revenue for the overall project. We're also looking at other state and federal grants. Those are a little less likely on a surface water project. So that is the state of that project right now. Again, as you can see by the graphic, it is not on track. Implement wastewater treatment plant upgrade project by October 2026. Still on track, getting closer to off track, but we have made a lot of headway in this effort. As you all know, it was, kind of coined the $40 million project. We have worked diligently to phase that project. So it's not a one-time $40 million project. We can chunk it out into smaller increments, make progress on it, again, incrementally without the big dollar figure. We have worked very diligently on compliance and made some headway with the state and have basically bought ourselves some time to be able to implement a phase plan and not have the state be looking for a new permit immediately. So that has been good. We have worked much closer with industry to focus really on their side of the house. The notice of violation and the cease and desist order has largely come from their effluent, their discharge. That's not a disparaging remark. That's a factual remark. That's where some of the odors and other issues are coming from. And so we are focusing sort of first on those issues on the industrial side. That will mean hopefully we don't have to focus as much on the domestic side and therefore won't have to see a rate increase in the first phases of the project potentially. So we are finalizing the phase 1 project, finalizing the timing, finalizing the approach, and we hope to get that sort of finalized and moving forward here in the next couple of months. It's going to be close for October 2026, but we're making, again, good headway on the overall project. And then in the last quarterly update, we did complete the 6 capital improvement projects in 2025. So those are your sidewalk improvement, your street overlays, those types of projects. We would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions up here?
Do we have a similar goal of constructing 6 capital improvement projects for 2026, or is that still to be set?
Still to be set. I don't think we're going to be able to do 6 each year. One, we had, when we started, kind of a backlog of monies that was not used. We are burning through those monies in a good way, in a positive way. In 2025 and 2024, we did 6 projects each. I think we'll probably hover around the 3 or 4 project mark because of available revenue.
And are those taken directly from the CIP
Yes.
plan?
Yes. And we will have a process where council and the community has a little earlier sight to the CIP project as part of the budget and as just part of the overall process.
Will we be reviewing that in April-ish or?
Like somewhere around there before the budget.
Any more questions? Okay. We're at the end of our slides, right? So we'll go on to the consent calendar here. Anyone want to pull anything? Anyone in the community want to pull any of these online?
Can I mention online for everyone who may be listening? We have periodically, when callers came onto the go-to, had some interference because they either didn't come on mute or came off mute in some way. So we have programmed it to every caller who comes on is automatically on mute. If they want to come off mute, they can raise their hand. And then we can ask for them to be unmuted. So we don't get some of the interruptions that we got periodically. So maybe we can mention that for the next couple meetings. If anyone is on the go-to and wants to speak, they can raise their hand.
Makes sense. That being said, anyone raising their hand?
No hands raised.
Okay. All right, we'll bring it back.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to make a motion to approve the consent calendar as submitted.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay. We'll go on to staff communications. Do you have anything else besides the stuff we've talked about?
Thank you, City Manager. Just 2 items to brief council, follow-ups from previous meeting. One of them was an interest in meeting with vacant property owners to better understand their intentions with their property, conduct some forward planning with them, and make sure that they had a direct line of communication with staff. So we found and identified 13 properties, 13 owners that could benefit from these types of conversations. So we're going to start scheduling those and reaching out to be proactive about land use planning around those vacant parcels. The other one was just the Spark grant. Again, this is a county facilitated grant with leftover ARPA dollars that's being used to provide reimbursements for utilities expenses for local businesses. And we were proactive in reaching out to all the businesses. The county sent out a notice to everybody that applied that said reimbursements would be delayed because they're updating their financial system. We did a spot check to call a few different businesses to make sure they got that notification, and everyone who seems to have applied received that notification. And so that's the update on that. And happy to provide another update next time on any progress and when those payments are finally dispersed.
Any questions? Okay. Cindy, do you have anything else?
I
Or
really don't have anything other than our audit issue. We're pretty much spending all time on that and the budget. So those will be hopefully nice updates the next week.
Chief, anything you want to?
Nothing additional from me.
Just a quick update, good evening, council, on the project going on downtown. We are getting close to wrapping up the project tomorrow. We will be hydro seeding the lawn itself. Do want to give a big shout out to my department, who's taken a lot of pride that wasn't happy with the way the ground looks. They put a lot of effort into it themselves to make it look really good, and I'm very proud of how they've handled it and took pride in it. But the project is really close. We do have some slurring and some striping to be done. But mainly the contractor's already got most of his equipment, fencing, everything out of the way. We've kind of worked this project about 4 weeks ahead of schedule. So far, so good. A big portion of that is from the good Lord and the rain. So didn't have any rain. But going good. That's it for Public Works, unless you have any questions.
I have a question for Public Works. Are we putting any sort of snow fence or anything up to keep the public off of the hydro seeding, make sure it really germinates?
Yes, definitely. We're not putting up any snow fence, but we are putting up barricades and caution tape around the perimeter. Somebody will have to enter in there, and there will be signage around telling them not to enter. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks.
That goes for everyone else as well. City manager?
I don't have any updates, but did we have an update on First Street lighting?
Yes, thank you. First Street Lighting. We have reached out to PG&E, have met with them. They've come out and we've figured out on what pole we are going to be adding the light on there. They're finishing up the paperwork now for us to put a deposit down. And then, but the process is going a lot further. So we have figured out we will be able to have one more light there on First Street. It's basically it's actually just east of the school grounds now before the crosswalk. So it'll help light up that area that's dark now.
I actually do have a quick question for you. I don't know if Chief has started a disco over at the police station. That flashing light on the front of the building, have you noticed that or been
I
alerted
have
to
not
that? Facing it right out into the street. I mean, it's
going
literally,
out in the street.
well, on the front of the building, you know, the faces,
Okay.
yeah, faces down the front of the building. I mean, it's
Okay.
strobing out there right now. So just thought I'd mention that since I noticed it on my way in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we looked at that about a month ago and thought we had it fixed.
Yeah, I do too. I was a bummer to hear that. Thanks.
Well, the police sign was blinking forever, so you got that one fixed. And now the one on the front of the chief, what are you doing over there? Like, you guys
It's an old building.
been in the turntables or?
That's an old building.
Oh, so that's what Palomino's doing. He's DJing on this side.
So in the community, anyone have questions for staff at all? No? Any hands raised? No? All right, we'll bring it back. For matters presented from the audience, the public may address the city council on any item that is on the agenda at the time the item is called. The public may also address the city council on any item not on the agenda that is within the subject matter of the city of Escalon. Each speaker is limited to a maximum of 5 minutes. Unused time may not be yielded to another speaker. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Due to state law, action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda, and except for brief responses, the council is prohibited from discussing any item not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and/or placed on a future agenda. The determination of whether an item is within the subject matter of the city is discretionary decision made by the mayor. At this point, do we have any matters from the audience? Sherry's, hold on a sec, Sherry's coming first, and then you can go. Sorry.
I'm going to keep it on a roll. I just want to again express my gratitude because we live in a really small town and it's really, I know nobody's listening. I know nobody's online, but I don't care. We have a very unique town. We have a really unique circumstance and we're surrounded by places that really don't care. And a lot of our community does. So I thank you that the 5 of you were approachable. And, I can get a hold of any of you, not that I'm anybody, but I could, and you respond. But I think tonight, even more importantly, I had an issue several months ago where I was stuck downtown with my mom with 2 kids in the middle of the road. And our city crews, they were like, Sherry, boom, thank you. Cones up, helping, that's not in their job description. But I appreciate it, amongst other things. And we walked on that new sidewalk, the grandbaby and I. Boy, that's really cool. Anyway, I had a thing where I made a phone call last week to talk to our city manager, and I got, again, I'm nobody. I don't have anything, no business in town, and I got a response and I care and listening ear. Same thing with Chief. And may I say publicly, thank you that we're not Manteca or Oakdale.
Thanks for your input.
Good evening. Matthew Orr. I live over on California and Mitchell. I'm here to address an email I sent you guys the beginning of February regarding public safety concerns within the city of Escalon. One of you out of the 5 reached out to clarify some things, so I do appreciate that. But I figured I'd come here and bring to light those issues and why come next contract time you guys need to seriously reconsider contracting police services with the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. I'm writing, so this is the email that I sent that I got one response from. I'm writing in as a concerned and disappointed resident of the city of Escalon to formally express grave concerns regarding the city's ability to adequately respond to major critical incidents and urge the council to seriously reconsider contracting police services. On January 31st, 2026, just before 23:30 hours, I was on duty and headed home from an assignment when an assist to other agency call for service came out to the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office. The call originated from the Escalon Police Department and involved an extremely serious threat. Escalon dispatch advised that an individual had called the non-emergency line saying he had shot his mother and another family member and further threatened to shoot it out with law enforcement using an AK-47 if officers responded. Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office deputies, including myself, responded due to the severity of the call and proximity to our location. When I arrived on scene, I observed a single Escalon police officer. She appeared unsure of what actions were being taken and walking around on her phone and did not appear to have a clear understanding of the operational plan. By that point, additional San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office resources had already arrived. It quickly became apparent that the initial command post established by the Escalon Police Department was inadequate. San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office personnel arrived shortly after and assumed incident command, established a QRF, or what we would call a quick reaction force, and deployed a drone. San Joaquin County Sheriff ultimately took over the incident and released the Stanislaus County Sheriff's personnel from the scene. As personnel were clearing, the Escalon police officer I had earlier observed asked a sergeant and myself what the plan was. It's a little bit concerning being that it's their incident. This statement alone should deeply concern every member of this council. It demonstrated a complete lack of situational awareness, command structure, and communication during what was believed to be an active shooter incident. It is my understanding the Escalon Police Department did not have a supervisor logged on at the time of the incident. At nearly midnight on a Saturday night, there were reportedly only 2 officers working, neither of whom were a sergeant. While I understand staffing challenges and compensation concerns, the reality is that Escalon relied entirely on the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office to manage a critical high-risk incident. Although this incident was ultimately determined to be a swatting call, we were fortunate this time. The outcome could have been far different. This is not the first major incident the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office had to take over in Escalon and will not be the last. As a community, we cannot continue to rely on agencies that have no contractual obligation to respond or to be available when we need them most. As a resident, it is troubling and frankly embarrassing to witness firsthand the city in which I live is not adequately staffed, equipped, or prepared to handle major incidents independently. In reality, Escalon Police Department should have been working hand in hand with the Sheriff's Office resources. Instead, it appeared overwhelmed and relying on outside agencies for direction and leadership. I understand that contracting police services may result in a similar day-to-day staffing levels. The difference is that when a critical incident occurs, the Sheriff's Office brings immediate access to supervisors, specialized units, command staff, and regional resources without delay. Dispatch does not need to be scrambled to coordinate assistance between multiple agencies, and command does not have to be improvised. The City of Escalon owes San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office a sincere thank you for handling this incident. However, there will come a day when they are unavailable because they are not obligated to provide a coverage for our city. Contracted services ensure the obligation exists and that our community is protected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In ending, I urge you guys to reconsider this come next contract negotiation. I understand right now we are locked in for the time being, but it's an issue. It was fake this time, might not be fake next time. Unfortunately, due to funding, staffing, they don't have the resources to handle things like that. So this happened right around the corner from my house, right? It's concerning to think that somebody potentially with an AK-47 would be doing that. I'm prepared for it. I'm equipped for it. I'm not worried about it. But what about all you guys? What if that's your neighbor doing something like that? Who do you want protecting you? Thank you.
Thanks for your input. Anyone else want to bring something to the front? No? You'll get a hand raise. Come back. Okay. On to the public hearing, I guess.
Well, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
in remaining consistent, last time this issue came to council, I recused myself due to conflict and potential monetary gain. So I will do so again.
Okay. Thanks for your honesty. Okay. So, City Manager, you're.
Thank you, City Manager. So this item is introduce and waive the first reading of ordinance amending section 1741-140 of the Escalon Municipal Code relating to accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units to comply with recent changes in state law and finding the action to be statutorily exempt from CEQA under Public Resource Code 2108017. So again, state introduced 4 new bills that came into effect January 1st. AB 462, AB 1154, SB 9, and SB 543 took effect either last year or January 2026. So that means that as of January 1st of 2026, our local municipal codes for regarding ADUs, accessory dwelling units, became null and void under state law, meaning that we would be required to approve accessory dwelling units solely under default state standards. Council adopted an urgency ordinance on January 20th to restore a compliant local framework immediately. Tonight begins the normal public hearing process to adopt a permanent ordinance. I can summarize the bills for you if you'd like. Otherwise, I can give you an update from the Planning Commission that reviewed this item. They held a public hearing on February 10th and recommended adoption. They did request review of trash service requirements on whether or not they could share a trash can or not. And we confirmed that our existing municipal code that is not questioned by state law already requires separate carts for each housing unit. Staff recommends introducing and waiving the first reading and finding the action exempt from CEQA. Thank you.
Any questions up here?
No questions, just an overall comment. I know that there's been some chatter, if you will, within our community about what this does. And, you know, there are some that are pro ADUs, some that are not. We don't want ADUs. But the purpose of this is to infuse local control into the ADUs. I mean, for all intents and purposes, our hands are pretty much tied when it comes to ADUs. But if we did not pass this ordinance, as Trevin mentioned, we would have to go to the default, which is the state law. And this allows us to have certain control on ADUs within the city of Escalon.
Just a quick thought. How many ADUs do we actually have a year? Was it like one or something?
Single digits. Single
It's
digits.
pretty small.
Yeah.
Thought so. Any questions out in the community?
Just make sure you open the public hearing formally.
Oh, I'm opening the public hearing.
We'll get it straight. I realize this is a state mandate and you guys don't have much of a choice, but what I was wondering if these EDUs or ADUs and the junior ADUs, are they considered on our growth ordinance? Because they require all the services of a single family home. My opinion is they ought to count toward our growth ordinance in order for us to easily transition with a growing population, so we don't run into issues of the major cost of sewer, water, police department,
Well, that makes sense.
staff.
Yeah. Staff or Trevin?
And defer to the city manager.
Okay. Actually, ADUs are exempt as we have created our ordinance. They are exempt from the growth management ordinance.
Should that be changed? Because with this state mandated effect on the ADUs, we'll probably see a lot more.
Sure
And I
seems
said,
like,
it's the same as a house, and it should be counted, or we could see an explosion in that area because there's virtually no restrictions.
sure something we should look into, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your input. We'll bring it back to the dais. Actually, sorry, is there any hands raised? Okay, I'll bring it back to the dais.
I have a follow-up question.
Mhm.
So when we do put in like a multi-unit property, let's just say a duplex, that does count as 2 units, is that correct? Is there anything to change this that we can do to change this to count towards the housing?
I think it's let us look into it and get back to you all. I think we can dovetail this conversation into the housing element conversation as well. So give us some time to look into it and we can bring it all together.
Yeah.
I mean, that just makes, it is a
Makes
unit,
sense.
so it should probably count towards the number of units that we are building in our city. So
Seems logical.
it seems logical to me.
Yeah, not normally, but yeah, go for it.
An issue was raised that but if it's going to be addressed at the housing element, it's fine, it's just as long as it doesn't get forgotten, left down the road, which tends to happen every now and then through nobody's fault, but also nobody's paying attention.
No, just keep poking us with a stick if it doesn't.
And
Thank you.
And I'll just, if your question was, does it count towards our RENA allocation, the number that the state provided us? Then yes, every unit, even ADUs, count towards our RENA. Our RENA for the next 8 years is 367 units. Every unit, including an ADU, counts towards that. If you're talking about, the city's slow growth ordinance, ADUs are exempt.
Okay.
It's an area we probably should just kind of investigate and bring back, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it's a unit. Like it should probably be counted as a unit on both of those things. Or at least consider if we're able to.
So do we need to do anything more on this?
Just a motion to introduce the ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move to introduce and waive the first reading of ordinance number XXX, amending section 17.41.140 of the Escalon Municipal Code relating to accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units to comply with recent changes in state law and finding the action to be statutorily exempt from CEQA under Public Resources Code 21080.17.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay. We'll go on to administrative matters.
Thank you, City Manager. Item 10 is an informational update on the staff costs to process fireworks booth application fees and related fees. Council requested this analysis on February 17th to confirm that our current fees do not exceed the cost of service. The city administers an annual fireworks booth program under Municipal Code Chapter 5.28, which includes application intake, public lottery, license issuance, inspections, and compliance monitoring. Although the city has historically collected an application fee, license fee, and a refundable deposit, these fees were never incorporated into the master fee schedule or into the cost of services analysis or fee study program that was done in the past. So we conducted a task level analysis of direct labor across all departments involved: office assistant, finance director, police, public works, and program management. And we found that there's a total direct labor for the full program of $1,901. With 4 booths awarded each year, the per applicant cost is approximately $475. So the current fees total $287 for selected applicants, leaving an unrecovered cost of about $188 per booth, or 40% subsidy. So this analysis reflects direct labor only. If indirect costs were applied, such as HR, insurance, IT, facilities, the program costs would increase, potentially double, depending on what that analysis revealed, but we did not include that in this analysis. Tonight's item is informational only. If council wants to take action on some of these fees, that we would return with a separate item at a later date. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Stroman, I think you were the one who wanted to look into this, right?
You got it. So I will say that I'm having a hard time understanding some of these fees. But before I ask staff to kind of walk through these with us so we have a better understanding, staff, how many applications did we receive last year? So there's 4 spots. How many applications did we receive?
I think we received 3 last year.
I think, I think it might have been 5, and then 2 were unable to move forward.
Why was that?
1 was unable to move forward. 1 was not a local nonprofit, and
Okay.
1 was unable to move forward because they could not get the volunteer person hours to man a booth.
Okay.
Person a booth, to work a booth.
Okay. So please walk us and the community through these hours.
Happy to. So if you look in the attachment, that's the most direct way to go through the whole list, because the staff report itself didn't have space to accommodate the entire chart. So the first task would be application intake and distribution. So this is when we send out the application to the community members, nonprofits that applied in years past that we think might apply. We receive the applications. This year, we're going to be doing them online. So we'd be downloading them into a PDF. We'd be logging them in Excel, and then we'd be confirming receipts in the general ledger that we got paid, so that we can properly track who might be prepared for the lottery, who might be needing to be reimbursed, and then distributing instruction packets for full applications. The previous application for the lottery was different than the application for the license. So everybody who applies for the lottery gets a separate packet for preparing them to apply for the license. And then we ensure that each applicant entered the process uniformly and has all of the correct information for staff. So we believe that took approximately 5 hours in years past from an office assistant. And the direct labor rate is $46. So 5 times 46 is 231. And so then going down the list, the application reconciling in GL. So this is the finance director's time for the whole process, enabling payment gateway, troubleshooting errors, making sure that there's refunds processed that need to be refunded. That was 0.25 hours. And again, this is for the entire program. So it's not per license. It's just this is how long it takes to do this task to operate the entire program.
Why is the finance director doing this work and not the accountant?
This is just when we reviewed it, this is the tasks that each person said that they would perform. So marketing and public communications, I mentioned this previously, preparing and posting public notices, updating the city website with the new information, new dates, and responding to general inquiries about the application window and sending out applications. 3 hours. Pre-lottery completeness review, so reviewing each application for required documents, signatures, insurance, placeholders, eligibility criteria before the lottery, communicating with them about if they have enough staff for the booth, those types of things. Office assistant, 2 hours. Lottery administration, preparing the lottery materials, hosting the public drawing itself, documenting results, and then notifying the applicants through the process is 3 hours. Customer service and applicant support, responding to applicant questions, clarifying requirements, providing guidance throughout the process. Again, this is programmatic wide. So it's about an hour per applicant or 4 hours, a little bit less. Refund processing and records retention. So we have to maintain all of these records for a long time. So we prepare those. We process refunds for unsuccessful applicants in the past, reconciling payments and archiving required records. And then there's also a police chief review of applications. So for all of the applications, it's about a half an hour. Public works setup and monitoring and traffic control. So they do block off parking stalls, placing safety barricades and coordinating delivery, and then monitoring the drop off logistics. So that's 4 hours.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there.
Sure.
Who does the delivery of the stands themselves? The city?
No, the city does not deliver the stands. The firework, TNT or whoever the firework booth company is that's delivering them.
Okay, so why is it the city's responsibility to block off parking stalls on private property?
It's more of a courtesy as a city to keep things safe in our community.
I understand, but I mean,
and again, we don't charge for the time, but when we were putting all of our time to accrue, this is other things we do.
and it's appreciated. Please understand, I'm not saying.
Sure doesn't sound like it. You really sound negative towards the whole thing, man.
Well, I am negative about it. I'm negative about these fees because as what stated previously on a different topic, I feel like we are taking money away from the nonprofits that are actually trying to do a little bit of good in our community, and we're trying to recoup fees.
So just curious, do we take away money from the nonprofits or the citizens, the taxpayers of the town? Just curious what your opinion is on that.
We certainly don't want to take away money from the citizens, but I believe that some of these numbers seem high based off the work that's done and the work that's performed.
Did you want them to go through any more, or do you feel comfortable with what you're seeing in his I can't even talk, explanation?
Yeah, I mean, please understand, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, and I'm not saying that there's a distrust in staff time. I appreciate the information that staff put together. I just, one of the things that we have looked at collectively as a council is looking at fees and the fee structure. And I believe that yes, it's a fine line between what we should recoup fees for and what is just happens because we're the city. So I appreciate staff taking the time and doing this analysis so quickly and bringing it back to us for your review.
Well, it seems like, obviously there's a lot involved, but it seems like it's fair based on what I'm seeing here. Our numbers right now currently. I mean, I don't know if everyone else feels the same way, but that's the way I see it.
What I'm saying here is less than 34 hours for us to completely run this program as a city. And while I understand Councilmember Showman's point of not wanting to take anything away from a nonprofit that's trying to do good in the community, I'm also looking at these numbers, and if they are correct, we're subsidizing this at 40% for these nonprofits. That's all fine and well with the current nonprofits that we have that apply for this and that typically get these booths. I don't know that I would be supportive of these subsidies should it be something that isn't necessarily in line with my beliefs. We are here to be government. We are not here to be charity. And our responsibility is to the taxpayer and to, take a look at every one of these things and say, are we doing the right thing with the dollars the city is collecting from our residents? If they're spending 34 hours on it and it's costing $1,900 and we're subsidizing this at, 40% currently, obviously this discussion was, just for us to kind of, take a look at this and make sure that we weren't overcharging. So I'm not suggesting that we make any changes currently, but I definitely think when you look at the program in its entirety being less than 34 hours spent for all of staff, everything that they have done, that doesn't seem like an excessive amount of time to me. Don't know if you're aware, in my prior line of work, I wrote estimates based on labor time. So, looking at the amount of time here, it's really easy for me to add up these hours and go, okay, this person spends this much time, well, maybe they're only spending, let's use the first one, 5 hours. Maybe they're only actually doing the task for 3.5 hours, but there's still probably an hour and a half of, getting to the job, picking up the phone, moving back and forth, getting back on task to what it was that they were working on prior to, where I would imagine that's where a lot of this time actually, does end up taking place, is that it's not just doing the task, it's the distraction from the other tasks that they're doing. I don't think 34 hours, to run an entire fireworks program in the city is anything for us to be balking at whatsoever. That's about all that I have to say about it.
Yeah.
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
So the dollar amounts that we see for the hours, are those total compensation dollars, or is it so complete
Awaited.
with, wait?
Those are, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it seems like it is more than fair, in my opinion. So, do we need to do a vote on this, or can we?
No, this is an information item for your consideration. Staff or council asked us to bring it back just to evaluate the fee. So if there's any direction after, we can
Anything else
consider
up
that.
here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we bring it back and so that we can vote on it. I think it's reasonable and it's in line.
Well, if you think it's reasonable as is, there's nothing else to vote on.
Here,
But Frank, the last meeting,
adopted last time.
the
Oh,
last
got it,
meeting,
got it.
we tabled
Got
it.
it.
So does
Got it.
that now have to come back to us for adoption?
And I'll say, we did not want to be presumptuous in the staff report. We wanted to give you the information and no further action to see where the council wanted to go. So if this is the tone of the council, then we will bring the item back at a following meeting, perhaps next meeting, for your consideration, like we did the prior meeting.
So public input would be reserved till next meeting, or
You can have public input
does
now.
anyone in the public want to make any comment or have a thought on this? No? Any hands raised? Okay, we'll bring it back and bring it back to the next meeting.
Yeah, since it involves fees, it has to be a public hearing.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back.
Okay. Off to the council communications, Councilman. Okay.
I actually have a couple of things this evening. First one is actually for you here, Chief. I know that you can't comment on anything that may be an ongoing case, but we are having a substantial problem with people coming into our town and dumping their dogs in the middle of our city, in our country as well. Country rural roads, but the last one that, kind of turned heads was right smack dab in the middle of city limits. I'm not a police officer. I'm not familiar with penal codes. is there some kind of enforceable law, number one, for someone that dumps an animal in the middle of our city?
Yes.
And are we investigating the one that I'm currently speaking about that I'm sure you're aware of?
I need to reach out to animal control to see what investigation what if any investigation there.
So it may be the county that's taking care of it and
No,
not,
Oakdale Animal Control.
okay, but not our officers directly.
If they require assistance, our officers will take over the case. I don't know that that's the case.
Yeah, I'm just quite curious. It looked like a citizen ran down all of the legwork to know exactly who it was that brought a beautiful lab to our town and dropped him right in the middle of the road. And then he continued to sit in the middle of the road and wait for his owner to come back. That is one of the most horrendous things that I think a human being can do to an animal. And I just want to be sure that we are doing our part to make sure that we are trying to stop people from doing that in our city.
Oh, definitely.
My next one, I'm kind of hoping that I can get some consensus with council to at least discuss this. And I know there's going to be some legal wrangling associated with this topic. I know that typically anything that we do, we send out for an RFP and we just send it out to whoever, and whoever responds, we kind of go with best case scenario. Given some things that have happened in the national news associated with children's yearbooks and photography companies, I'm concerned about what our rec program is doing for photographers. And given the number of local photographers that we have in this town, I'm wondering if we can have a discussion about making sure that we are using local photographers, which would be much easier to keep in line as far as where photos of our local children are ending up. I don't know who is or is not aware of what it is that I'm talking about here, but it essentially sounds like children's yearbooks may have been being used for selection guides for exploitations. And that is a very, very dangerous thing. And I would just like to see us as a city taking precautionary steps to be sure that our children are not ending up in that kind of danger.
I think that might be a conversation we can have with the school.
Well, the rec department is actually why I bring it up here.
Okay. You're talking about okay, I got you.
So flag football, soccer, t-ball. I'm sure that Little League will be doing their own program as far as photos go at this point. All of those.
I mean, I'd support you on that. I don't have a problem with that.
And like I said, I know that there will probably be some legal discussion that we'll get to have with Frank on the subject, but I'd just like us to explore it and see if there's some kind of guardrail that we can put up to be sure that we're protecting our children. And that is all that I have for this evening.
Okay.
Appreciate the consensus, sir.
No problem. Councilman Stroman.
I'll keep it brief tonight, as requested by a resident in the back corner. But just really want to say thanks for your input, everybody that took the time to speak. Again, welcome, Officer Westfall. And most importantly, given what happened this past weekend, just really requesting folks try to have faith and respect of those that are in leadership positions, especially at the national level, because they know a lot more about the situation than what we do. As well as please keep our military members in your thoughts, because we don't know how far this situation is going to go. But keep in mind, it doesn't matter if you're for what's happening or against what's happening. It's important to remember that we're all Americans, and we need to recognize that. And so just please keep leadership in your thoughts, especially keep the military members, especially the 6 that have lost their lives and their families, in your thoughts and prayers. And in my opinion, it's about freedom. And we all love our freedoms, especially within the city of Escalon. So That's all I really want to say.
Okay. We'll go on to Councilman Engel.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have two items. The first one, 2 meetings ago, I came to council and I asked council about the SJCOG One Voice trip to DC in May. Upon further looking into my ability to go, I have found that I have 4 other obligations that week which cannot be rescheduled. So my suggestion and recommendation would be to send our alternate if he is available, and if he is not, if another member of the council can attend, to have that conversation starting with city manager, and then we can bring that to COG. That's my first one. Second one, I missed the last meeting. I had another obligation. It's hard for me, as some of you know, it's hard for me to make Tuesday meetings. I have several obligations during the week, and I gave up my Monday obligations to commit to being able to come to council meetings. And so when council meetings get moved to Tuesdays, it makes it very challenging for me to reschedule a commitment that I have previously rescheduled. I will do my best to attend those when I can. But last week, I really wanted to be here to say this. And I understand it's a limited audience, but I have to say it. It is time for America to abandon the two-party system. I don't care what side of the aisle you are on, in my opinion. You are being played by both sides. Neither one of them have your best interest at heart or in mind, and they are not taking care of you. And in an election year, they are going to fill us full of their lies again and promises empty that we will bow down to and listen to vote them in. And then again, nothing will happen. So I just want to say that out loud to whoever may be open to that suggestion. It's not something that's going to happen in one election cycle, but if the saying, right? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And that is exactly where we sit. And it is going to take small engaged changes over several years, if not decades, to undo what has been done. And it's up to the people that actually vote to start making those changes and differences. I would say, please consider looking at if you have gotten the promises that your parties have promised you, and decide if you are ready to do that one more time to the demise of our great country. And with that, I will stop talking.
Pro Tem.
Everyone was a little heavy. And I don't disagree with any of them. I honestly don't have anything to bring original to this conversation, but I do want to kind of add to Councilor Kay. I'm hoping that that this enlightening moment of the company Life Touch photography is coming to light, and maybe that will bring a boom to our local photographers. Honestly, that this is going to give a chance to have our local people take care of us, right? And so, I'm hoping a lot of what is happening right now, whether it be what Councilor Stroman mentioned and our military involvement, or Councilor Engel and our distrust of the two-party system. I hope that we can all focus on our local community, take care of your neighbors, produce what you can, share what you can, feed your neighbor, and just continue to pray to God and share God's love. So take care of your neighbors, take care of Escalon. Love to be part of this community. I'm very proud of us, and just make sure you're looking to the right and left of you, and make sure that everybody around us has enough on their table too. So that's it. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Can you guys talk about this issue? Can you bring this up at the 2x2 meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was saying to Councilman Kay. All right, well, I appreciate everyone's input tonight. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. So I do appreciate it. Otherwise, I don't have much else to add to what we just heard. So I will see you next time.